Hi there everyone. So as you can see on this webinar, we'll be taking a look at how to send e-shots from the Adapt system. So we're going to look at batch e-shots, so sending them out in bulk. We're going to look at using Mailchimp as well. And last, we're going to look at using a third party. So the important thing to understand is when we're talking about e-shots, we are just talking about sending out emails, but from a search in the system. Before we go and look at those searches and sending out batch e-shots, what we're going to look at first is just making sure that when you're setting up your candidates and setting up your contacts, you're making sure you set them up as e-shot yes or e-shot no. So depending on that, if it's yes, then you can send out e-shots from a search. If they're defaulted to no, then it means that nothing will go out when you try and send it out. So first of all, if you're uploading or creating a candidate using CV import, just to show you, if we look in here, you'll see down the side that contact information, it defaults to e-shot Y or N for yes and no to N for no. So that is the default in the system for all existing customers and new customers. So you'll need to make sure that at some point when you've run GDPR and you've checked that they're happy to receive marketing or e-shots from them or batch emails, however you've written it, when you've got permission, you can then go in and you can put Y for yes, which means that you'll then be able to send them out. So let's imagine that you've added up a new candidate. You've defaulted them to maybe to N for no. And then you find out from them that they are happy to receive that kind of information from an email. So what you would do is on the candidate record, as we can see, you'd go to the drop down next to profile, you go to the contact page, which is the second one down as we can see, and you'll see what you would do is edit on this page and you would change no to yes. And as you can see, Helen's already said yes and agreed to e-shots. That's how you would do it with the candidate record. So important that you understand that. If we then go to a contact instead, so if we go to Sonia, same thing applies. So it's always the second page down, contact, and then we can see there again, you've got yes already, which is great, but you can edit and change it from yes to no or no to yes, depending on what they've agreed. Now, when creating a new contact, just to show you, if we go back in here and go to create a brand new contact for this company, you'll see here when you're creating one, you've got an e-shot box here, which is empty. So it means it's going to automatically default to no. So again, if you're creating a contact, if you just tick that box there, it will then default e-shot to yes. So the understanding of the settings is quite important because then you know who's happy to accept and how to change that in the system. So the next thing we're going to take a look at is going to a search. I'm going to go straight to a saved results. So search that I've already run and I've saved in the system. So to run a search, you'd go to searches and then searches again. And then you'd either run a contact search for your client contacts, or you would run, as we can see here, or you run a candidate search for your candidates. So when you've got, if we collapse these bars here to get some more room, you can see I've got 15 people in this list and they're already all selected. If they weren't selected, you can see the tick boxes are empty. You could then make sure you go to this tick, select all to select the people in that list. Or the people that you want, if it's anyone you don't want to send an email to, you can untick them. Then you can go to batch. And then as you'll see here, you've got candidate e-shot. And it's exactly the same option if you're running it from a contact. So from the template section here, you'll see there's a black file. And as you'll know already in the Adapt system, this means that you need to select something from that black file. So you'll have a range of different templates in here to pick from. So select your template. Just to let you know about the templates, if someone's been trained in your office as an administrator, they'll know how they can amend the templates in here, or they can build new ones. If you haven't had that training, if you want a new template in here, or you want to rename the template or build a new one, please let client services know and they can do that for you. So you select your template, you put in your subject here about your email, so email subject title, and then you'll see in here, you've got document attachments, and you could select on that arrow and then browse in your system and attach in maybe a job description or a document. As you can see, it just goes into your system. Down here in the body text section, you would then write in your content of your email. And then after that, you've got preview section here. So you can click on it and you can preview it before you send it out. So notice you've got ignore this bit, that won't be in there. You'd have dear, it will put in their name. You can have pre-written text in that template. You can see that's what I've just written in there. So that's the bulk information or email content. And then it will send out here. And you can see here you'll have your name, direct dial, etc. And then when you click send, that will BCC and send out to all the people in your list, as long as their e-shot says yes, and they've got a valid email, or home email, should I say, for the candidate. So once you've sent that out, it will, against every single candidate in the system, you'll be able to go into their journal. So if I select someone and click here, so as you can see in the journal, it will give the e-shot a number next to it. So then you can click into your e-shot at any time, see that it's named batch, so it's its own record, and it's brilliant because in here what you can see is all the other candidates the email was sent to in that list. It will show you the template, so the email that was sent out to all those people. And the important part for you all to know is that you'll also get a failure report if for any reason any of the emails did not send out. So to check what's happened, you can then double click on this document. And then from here, it will list who wasn't sent out and why. So you can see the 3 reasons. So email could not be sent out because they do not have a home email address. This is for candidates. For contacts, it will be a work email. On this side here, you've got candidates could not be sent because they have an invalid email address, so it wouldn't send through. It was rejected. And then as you'll see here, this email could not be sent because they do not wish to be contacted via eShot. So it's saying all these people were listed as eShot N for no, and then that means they won't be receiving, or the email will not send to those candidates. So we can clearly see what's happening on that particular eShot that you sent out. So really handy to know about that, and it links to every candidate. So the next thing we're going to take a look at is linking it to Mailchimp. So the important thing to know first is that you'll need to set up a Mailchimp account. Either you can have one for your whole company, or you can set up an account for each individual person, and we can attach it to their particular record in Adapt. You'll need to go in and generate an API key when you do that, and then we can get it set up for you. So what you can do again is you can run a search either to a list of contacts or a list of candidates in the system. You can, again, as we've seen, you can select them from the side, either individually or the whole list of people. And then from the batch again, you'll see you've got the option in there to export that list of candidates to Mailchimp, or a list of contacts, of course, as well. So you'll need to have set up a campaign already in Mailchimp. You can then export the candidates to Mailchimp, and it will ask you which campaign they're going to, and then you'll instantly have that list of people in that campaign. And then you can go out to the benefits of courses in Mailchimp. You have a lot more freedom of creating something more creative and make it great with the marketing side and how it looks and feels. Now, what's great about the Mailchimp tool is it fully integrates with the Adapt system. So what you'll get back is you get the analytics that you get from Mailchimp. So things like how many people clicked it open, how many people rejected it, that kind of thing. All that data actually comes back into your Adapt system, and it links to not only the candidate or contact record individually, but it's got its own dashboard in the studios linking and showing that campaign information. So if I show you, so for example, if we click onto a candidate, at the moment, if you go on the drop down and have a look, you can see you've got a marketing page. Now, I'm not actually linked up to Mailchimp, so I have no real examples, but just to point out in here, this is where if you then attach Leon to a campaign, sent him out an email from Mailchimp, it would come in here and it would add the campaign in there, and you can see the data. So sent date, time, campaign status, etc. And you can see at the top extra information on there as well. And it's the same in the contact. Now, if we go to the studio section here, you'll see as well, if I go down here, so I've created my own studio and I've added in the Mailchimp campaign widget. From here, you can select all these different options to view the campaign name, number of recipients, all this kind of data here. You've also got things like bounced, last open, last clicked, and open rate. So lots of data you can get from here. So in here, you can either see all campaigns or you can filter, as you can see. You'll get the campaigns listed here with that data, so you can see it all in this section. So you don't have to go back into Mailchimp to see all of that. All your data you're collecting will sit either against the candidate, against the contact, and it will also sit in this studio. So great stuff. So really good. If you're using it, get it all linked up, get it hooked up so you can see all that data in your CRM. If we go back to a save search one more time, the last thing we were going to look at is if you were going to maybe link up and send things to a third party. So maybe you're using something like HubSpot, or you're not using Mailchimp, maybe a different kind of campaign system. Then what you can do is, again, very similar. You can select all your results of that save search or whoever you want. You can go to now the options button. You can click on export as CSV if that's something you've got set up in your system, because it can be switched off. If it's not on there, please speak to your super user or administrator in your office. And then when you export, as you'll see down here, it will go into an Excel spreadsheet. So what you're going to want to make sure you've got in here, in your columns, is your email address. See, I don't. So what you'd need to do is go into options, go to the formatter tool. Down here, we've got email. So double click to move that up. So you can see it's at the bottom of my columns. Because I need it for a campaign, I'm going to move it up to second place in here. Actually, there we go. And then apply. And now I've got the email addresses in there. So that's when you'd want to go, then go. If we get rid of the bottom one here, we're going to go again, options, export as CSV. And then when you open that up, you're going to have an Excel spreadsheet. And then in there, you're going to have the data you need. So you can just copy all those email addresses, set up your campaign to the third party. You can set third party product, and then you can just send it out as you wish. So as you can see, so many ways that you can use that eShot in the Adapt system.